Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to tell you, Roland's Recap in North Texas Fisticuffs, we've made our way up to NorthDallasMMA.com. Let me go and throw that in. That's where you can get all of your information. If I remember correctly, it is NorthDallasMMA.com. Is that it?
Sir.
Is that it? Is that? Oh, you know what? I'm over here to introduce my guest because he's such a special guest. I feel like I've already got to know him. I've got none other than Steven Peterson right here. Steve, come on, shake my hand, baby. You know what? I got to first of all say I'm going to get myself a little relaxed right here because I've never done an interview like this. I see the belt here in front of me. I've got the first ever XKO champion here. Let's get down to some fight fan information, Steven. You're no stranger to NorthTexasFisticuffs.com. You've been on here before. And what we're here for is that you've got an upcoming match, your first title defense against Alex Warpath Russ. Tell me how you feeling right now. We are Wednesday. If I remember correctly, it's July the 20th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me how you're feeling and what's going on.
No, I'm feeling pretty good. Just getting the weight down. Weight's coming off nice and easy. It should be easier cut than usual. And feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm ready to rumble.
Well, I've got to tell you, Steven, every time you crawl into the cage, I've already had a couple of interviews with you. You always bring the action. You always bring it, I mean, bell to bell. It is an overdrive. You know, no downshift. Tell me what the camp's been like thus far.
Oh, this camp's definitely been real intense, more intense than the usual camp, seeing as it's a title fight and title defense. Got to represent. So, we train 2 times a day, 5 days a week, about 5 hours a day on the mat. So it's been pretty intense.
Oh, I got to tell you, baby, that is intense. No doubt about the cardio's ready. I mean, because, cardio is probably the backbone of what I call a champion.
Yes, sir.
We know that. Well, I tell you what, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about Steven Ocho. I always call you Superman. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You got to look at this right here. I love what he's got right here. Camera, be sure to look at this. This is a Superman. I call it a target. You know what I call it? It's not a target for someone to hit. It's a target of success that he shoots for every day. I've got a feeling you want to be a Superman every day. Is that not right, Steven?
Yes, sir. That's correct. I put this tattoo on my body, and I planned on representing it, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, I've always had a great time with the intensity, the action, and ultimately the the great show you bring. Let's go ahead and get down to who you are, what you are, Steven. How long have you been in MMA now?
I've been doing MMA for 4 years now. Started when I was 17. Originally, before I got into MMA, I just liked to fight with my friends. We'd go in the backyard, just rumble. And eventually, I thought I was tired of hurting my friends. I wanted to do it for real. I wanted to get in the game. So I tried it out, and I just fell in love. And now there's nothing else I'd rather do.
Well, it's quite obvious you wear that love for the game when you crawl into the cage. I've always seen that in you. Let's go ahead and talk about your record. What is your record right now, Steven?
My record's 4-1.
And you are the current and only ever XKO bantamweight champion.
Yes, sir.
I know that, I know your focus right now is on Alex Russ. Just a tidbit of information that kind of goes back a couple of weeks, I guess I can say it, a couple of months, is that bout with Mr. Fry, Doug Fry.
Yeah, that fight was definitely one of my best fights. I, put on a good show, like, technique showed over, like my technique prevailed, and the controversy with that, I try to leave that in my past, but I know it's gonna keep following me. All I've got to say is if Doug wants a rematch, he needs to win a couple fights, and then maybe we could talk. Right now he's riding a 3-fight losing streak, so once he wins a couple, then maybe we'll talk.
Well, I tell you what, you know what, it comes down to what I call, I don't want to focus in on that because I know you're focused right now. It's this Saturday. But just to tie this up, and we won't talk about it anymore, Steven, because I know you're focused. Your coach, JD Shelley, when I walked in, he was pretty headstrong on us keeping our focus on your title fight. And for good reason. I mean, I can't argue that. But I'll just do a little shout out to Doug right now. Doug, you've already heard the little invitation right here. Let's try to get things going a little bit better. I've been at the last couple of bouts that you had been. I went to Amarillo, and as you well know, I was at Shark Fights, and I did see both your fights. We wish you well. You know you're one of my favorites as well. All of you Warriors just do a great job. Let's get down to Alex Russ now. Tell me what you know about Alex Russ.
Alex Russ is 3-0 as a pro. He's very explosive. He likes to push the pace. So, it should be a good fight. I plan on pushing the pace as well, and it's definitely going to be fireworks.
Oh, I tell you, it is. I'm sitting here, the old man that I am. I've got to sit with my legs out, and here this young man here is just all limber, ready to go. I think he's more than ready to go. I know Alex Russ, too, very explosive, like you said. He is very, very intense, always putting the pressure. What kind of strategy are you thinking right now it's going to take to be able to walk out with a big W?
Every time I come into a bout, I plan on dominating every aspect of the game. That's how you win fights. So, I plan on just pushing the pace. I'm not going to get into too much game planning, but I plan to dominate every aspect of this fight.
Well, I tell you, I only can respect what you've said here, because I think strategy is something that you keep in the camp, something that it's between you and your coach, you and your team, you and your corner. And by all means, being an ex-fighter myself, I know exactly where you're at. Let me ask you one last thing. Anything else that I've not asked you here that you've done here at North Dallas MMA in preparation for the fight? Anything else? I mean, you may have already covered it.
This is my home. I go along to other gyms and do a little bit of extra work. So I've sparred other guys, other gyms, done cardio workouts at other gyms just to get a couple different looks. But this is my home, and this is where I plan on staying.
Beautiful, beautiful. I tell you what, before we wrap up here, I want you to close up at least this part of the interview, with any type of quick shout-outs to your team, anybody special in your heart, people who have gotten you to where you are today.
Yeah, I definitely want to give a shout-out to all my trainers, JD Shelley, Arjan, Carlos Moreno, and Dave Massey. I also want to give a shout-out to my sponsors, Fear Tapping Out, Just Break It, Jocko, Granite Masters, and Mr. Sweets. And I definitely want to give a shout-out to my girlfriend, Amanda Zemek. She's 9 months pregnant, and she's still letting me take this fight, so it's definitely a plus in my book.
Well, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing but a scholar and a gentleman. Sure, you can talk about the controversy that maybe resides around this beautiful belt here, but till we wrap up this, I can only tell you that this beautiful belt that sits here in front of us is something that reflects only what this man has in the cage, and that's courage. I'll tell you one other thing. The humbleness in his heart, as you can see, and the spirit in his soul is what I call a true champion, a true warrior. Yeah, we can talk about controversy, but there's one thing we're going to see this Saturday night. We're going to see Steven Peterson climb back into the cage, and then we will see exactly what a true champion is made of. Now we're leaving. One more time, Roland's recap from 97-20 Coit, suite number 111, and we'll see you this Saturday night. That's going to be July the 23rd, XKO 921 West Mayfield. You be there as we bring you the action. Roland's recap coming from North Dallas MMA. Okay, Roland's recap. Now we step up to one of the great trainers here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know the humbleness in their heart is what these guys are known for. I've got none other than JD Shelley here. JD, let me shake your hand. Roland Gomez here. On Roland's recap, we're sitting here at North Dallas MMA. We're at the address of 9720 Coit, suite number 112. How you doing, JD, today?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Every time I walk into an MMA gym, all I'm greeted with is just love. And I tell you, MMA love at its best. Tell me what's going on here at this mighty gym called North Dallas MMA.
Well, first off, this Saturday night, we have one of our very own MMA fighters from North Dallas MMA, Steven Peterson, defending his title at 135. It's going to be a good fight, I believe, against Alex Russ, good opponent, which I believe is 3-0. So, I believe our athlete is prepared for this war.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's intense. I get the proud privilege, which I failed to tell Steven. We just finished up with him. I'm actually commentating the fight on TXA Channel 21 with Extreme Knockout, as you well know, the Bussies. But let's move on to something else right here. Let's talk about not only the fight itself, as I want you to finish up whatever you want to say, but also about your gym here. Beautiful gym here. You got a great setup. It's professional. I know that you're here trying to impart the MMA artistry of what you know it to be upon anyone who wants to make their way to the North Dallas MMA facility here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We practice Muay Thai kickboxing. We have Arjan, one of the very few Arjans here in the United States, who's American,
Yes, sir.
under Cheetah Muay Thai,
Okay.
Master Cheetah. We also have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm one of the Hobson Moore's affiliates, Hobson Moore Nova União Association,
Gotcha.
and second degree black belt under Hobson.
Well, let me ask you, if I were to ask you number-wise, how many students you have here, how many pros you have? I know not all your students are fighters, but as far as pros, I know the big one you have right here, Steven Peterson, by all means, a warrior in himself. Any other information on your fighters?
Oh yes, I have. I've been involved in the game for a little while. Been around for a little while, so a lot of the coaches know me from other academies. They know we bring it when we are either grappling or coming in for MMA. So we're always bringing it. We're always coming at the table to try to be as most prepared for war as possible.
Well, that's what the name of the game is. You got to come. You got to bring it. You got to be prepared. Now, let me ask you this, JD. I know we've been talking all around. Let's get very specific to any contact information, phone numbers, websites, addresses. I'm going to let you repeat all that information just to make sure that the fight fans out here and the people who want to get involved in MMA in this area where you're located are going to have all the appropriate information to make that contact with you.
Sure, of course. We're located at we're North Dallas MMA. You can reach us at northdallasmma.com. Our address is 9720 Coit Road, Suite 111, actually, instead of 112. You said
I'm
earlier.
sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
Keep on saying that.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We're located in the Kroger Shopping Center right next to off of 121 and Coit Road. So easy to find.
How about a phone number? You got a phone number just in case for those people?
Yes, sir. 972-679-4387.
I tell you what, the imperfection that lies in this man, as perfect as I want to be, is still, it's 111, not 112 suite here. The suite number of 112 is going to be where the action's going to be this weekend. 921 West Mayfield, suite number 112. Again, that's going to be the Extreme Knockout, the gym, the promoters being Extreme Knockout. As we close this one up, I'm going to ask JD to close it up for me. Any quick shout-outs, anybody that has really helped you get where you are today?
I just want to say thanks to all my students, my coaches. If it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't be here where it is today. And, of course, my lovely wife, Susan.
Oh, it's beautiful. JD, let me shake your hand one more time, Mr. Shelley himself. As we wrap up another beautiful interview, you can only see Roland's Recap brings you the best because they help me bring the best. On behalf of www.NorthTexasFisticuffs.com, the voice of North Texas Combative Sports, Roland Gomez, your host. And until our next Roland's Recap, we salute you.